Hello internets, Sir Mutton here. Welcome back to more footage from Project 1999's emulated server, and well, we've gone into the woods, and hopefully it will not be reminiscent of the film Deliverance. I guarantee I will not be squealing like a piggy, and I also do not have a purty mouth, so uh, that said, I hope to avoid any awkward moments uh, in the prone position. So yeah, we're taking out some giants here. We being myself and a druid that I partnered up with, a little halfling. You can see him in a minute. And yeah, we decided to go ahead and just join forces and take these guys out to avoid some downtime. Him just basically, sticking with the heals and and some damage shields. Those are always nice. So we got to basically just kind of flow through everything. And we picked up a few forest loops along the way. I think maybe one or two. I got one really early on, which I sold him, and later on he got one as well. So we didn't do too bad, all things considered. And nobody died. Sorry for the spoiler if anyone's interested in watching me, rage quit. It didn't happen this time. And as you can see, I just used intimidation there. Now I kind of used it improperly because he went in the other direction, and there really was no need to actually use it since I already had him on the run. But it's quite good to redirect a fleeing mob if they're going towards, say a bunch of other mobs, which they tend to do. So yeah, if you can actually use that appropriately, unlike I did just there, you can avoid any add-ons. And this is a leg chopper. Now, what we're doing here is we already have one. Well, he has one, and I don't want to have a lack of AC for picking it up and putting it in one of my weight reduction bags. So we're kind of just keeping it there temporarily. We keep picking it up every few minutes and putting it back down because we're greedy. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should have just put it on the sapling over there. But that's the strange thing about Everquest is if you look at all the mobs, that kind of congregate in little areas, like the centaurs and the forest giants here, there are no females, and that's a little disconcerting considering the fact that they are very, populated, overpopulated almost, and well, they're saplings, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not sure what the creators were insinuating or what their goal was. I guess you really can't have female giants. These guys kind of look like Mr. Clean's drunk brother, Virgil. Virgil Clean. Oh, that sounds like a product. What was that from a Jim Carrey film? Evangiclean? Oh boy, we're getting into uncharted territory. Well, I won't say uncharted. Oh boy, yeah, I've dug myself into a hole. I think I'm just gonna move on now. And we've got some nice giant arse crack in our face. I don't know what, again, with the I don't know. There's some kind of fascination that the creators had with one simply having males that you can attack that are congregated in little forts, and two having them have improper clothing. Just not enough. They're almost scantily clad, and it's just not becoming. It's not becoming of them. So I don't know. I mean, it happens with the goblins. It happens with some of the giants. Uh, Maybe there's just some kind of weird fascination, or it's some kind of joke. It's an ongoing inside joke that they decided. Maybe one of the developers, didn't have his pants up enough when he was at the computer, and everyone started laughing. I don't know. One of those deals. You kind of wonder what were they thinking. So anyway, I want to go ahead and talk about a few other things that are quite monkly. If you look over in my left-hand corner in my hotkeys, I have a interesting little trinket there. That is a shiny brass idol. Now the really cool thing about these bad boys is that they have a cleric spell effect, which is called Divine Aura. Most of you probably already know that, but I really like those. It's very difficult to actually sell these little trinkets in EC for some reason, I guess maybe because of the availability of them, the ease of access, you can get them from high pass area pretty easily. But that said, I rather like having a disposable clicky uh, at my in arm's reach, so to speak. So yeah, it's really quite helpful if you're in a group that's trying to get a feel for an area, or maybe is in over their heads. But in duos, I never really seem to need to use such things. Even my squad ring, my trusty squad ring, I don't need to seem to use that. For some reason, I guess maybe because both members are pretty focused on what's going on, so they know when to bail. I'm not too sure, but duos seem to work a lot better for me than groups, and certainly a lot better than soloing. It very much decreases downtime. Yeah, so Well, as you can see, I'm still using two-hand blunt for some reason as well. I want to get into that. I'm not too sure what my idea was with that, but I guess I was hoping for haste as I went to Canark, which actually proved to pay off quite well because I did get hasted, as you'll see here in a little bit. We got some group action going on. Got a couple of the people that showed up and decided, hey, why not go ahead and get a couple others on board and basically, you know, go into overkill mode. We got a druid and an enchanter along with us for the ride, and yeah, it is a bit overkill. I feel almost useless, but then again, if we had another tank or more DPS, this would really be quite good. Uh, because druids can basically spot heal you, and this is not an area where we have anything to be overtly concerned about, because everything cons blue to me, and or light blue, as this one does right here. And yeah, that's certainly not the best experience necessarily in a group, but then again, you don't have to worry about any deaths. So, well, we do get restless, but we also get some experience. I believe one or two people dinged while we were killing these guys, and that's always nice to have happen around you. It makes you feel all important and helpful, and it's life affirming, even though this is not real life. And yes, we're still getting some crotch action from the giants. It's hard to actually look straight up at them because when you're done, you have to swivel the mouse and get back into a normal view so you can try to pick some more off. And I don't know, it just doesn't work. So yeah, it's more belly and crotch action. They look like belly dancers that are out of shape and need to get back into Lamaze class or yoga or something. I don't know. Lamaze class. It's like they're pregnant. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they are women, and well, we're not gonna go there. I think I'm just gonna leave this topic alone, because that would mean that they're topless, but they got hairy chests and outy belly buttons, and this is just I need to change the subject. Oh man. Well, yeah, I am using disarm. If you've noticed here and there, that is it's kind of like the poor man's taunt, I've found. It doesn't really pull a lot of aggro, but, in a pinch, it really will help. If, like here with the Enchanter, he's got aggro, and there we go. I pulled it right off him. And, well, it's not the best thing in the world. If you've got somebody who has taunt, you might as well not even bother using it. But even if the mob doesn't have a weapon in hand, I believe it still, irritates the hell out of them, the ever-living shite out of the mob. So I try to use it whenever it's best to do so, as I am basically a paper tank, so I try not to use it too much, but I do keep it in my number one hotkey slot area, or I don't know what you call that. I guess it's like a page, and you have like 10 pages, maybe 9 pages of hotkeys that you can choose from, so that's always quite good. But yep, we're taking them out, and we're doing quite good at it, but we are getting restless. We need to kill some more things that are at least yellow cons. Now, they're basically even cons to the other players because we got some level 30s and some higher up 20s in our group. I believe all over is 20. Now, I thought his name was actually Owl Lover when I first saw it, so I don't know what that says about me. I need help. But he turned into a porter. He has a character. He's goes around and ports people and does a quite good job of it. Not to not to sell out and say, hey, and free advertisement here for the little druid, but he'll come to you and pick you up and do all sorts of things and do transfers, and he's quite good at it. I've used him over time. I used him and then I got rid of him. I don't need you anymore, man. I don't know. Part-time lover. No, that's awkward. This episode's really turned into some very strange, I don't know, long dialogue about ambiguous things that I will not go into any further. I'm starting to question who I am and what I'm all about. But we're as you can see we're getting out of here. We're scramming. It's time to loot and scoot, and that's what we're gonna do. Now there's the guy that was also hunting alongside us. Now he wasn't in our group, but he wanted to get some experience, obviously. So, we didn't take too many of the mobs, but that's why we were pulling two at a time, because it was like, okay, we don't want any more people showing up. And as you can see here, the goblin decided to go ahead and go for the enchanter, of course, the one with the most Hit points? No. The one with the least. So yeah, I tried to get some aggro here and then run off. I did a no-no. I kind of feigned death before I got to the zone because I figured that the enchanter was already headed to the zone. But I wanted to kind of, get a feel of see if everyone was okay. So yeah, the enchanter was lost. Got attacked by the goblin, but lived. He lived. It's all okay. Everything's fine. And yeah, we eventually decided to split up after trying to hunt over there, which, well, was too much for us, and so was Illumin. That was just not good either. And yeah, I ran low on food. Obviously, after grouping, I could have asked for some foraged food from either one of the druids, but hey, hindsight. Uh, so yeah, nowhere to shop, nowhere to vendor. I decided to go ahead and get back on the evil boat. As I am KOS in East Freeport, it's just not a good idea for me to take the other boat. So, and I'm too cheap. I'm a cheap bastard. I'm not gonna go ahead and get a port. I'm just not gonna do it. Even though actually later on, all over decided to just say, hey, you know what? From now on, free ports. But at this level, he can't port anyone else but himself. So, you know, what are you gonna do? You gotta improvise. And I'm trying to jump on this boat. I don't know what I was doing, but I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here because this gets pretty hairy, and I really can't say anything about it. I really just can't, other than facepalm. So thank you all for watching, and well, you all come back now. You hear?